universe. Welcome to She Table Talk, Sisters Helping to Empower. I am your host, Dr. Amystique Church, and you know always me. I'm so excited about tonight. So we have a phenomenal guest speaker that's going to share with us. And it's all about you, my sisters. Again, Sisters Helping to Empower. We think about segments that's going to help you and empower you. So we're getting ready. And so I'm going to now turn this over to my guest, and she's going to introduce herself and share with you. Dr. Turner?
Awesome. Oh, thank you, Dr. Church. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Dr. Trina Turner. I am a board certified registered nurse. I've been a nurse for almost 31 years now in multiple specialties. I've worked in ICU, I've worked in oncology, I've worked ambulatory care, I've worked in the OR. Right now, I am an assistant director of nursing for a veterans home here in our state, and I'm excited to be here tonight. I love the whole empowerment, women empowerment thing that you're doing, Dr. Church, and thank you so much for even considering me to be on your podcast. It is a great honor. Thank you. As my stalwart, awesome, also of the phenomenal Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Turner. I truly appreciate that. But we'll go ahead and get into the question. So when you think about empowering other young women and reaching back, because that's what it's all about, is reaching back and bringing other people to get through what their journey and what their path is. And so what is your mantra? One thing, what is your mantra? And then when you think about diligence and perseverance, what would you say to our sisters out there that are watching us from all over our state? How do they stay focused? Again, it's about diligence and, persistence. But first, what is your mantra?
So my mantra is to whom much is given, much is required. And I've always carried that in my spirit. A little bit about me. I was a single mom at 17. By the time I was 24, I had 3 children. And, when you are that young, I come from very humble beginnings. My mother was a nurse, but she was a single parent. So she raised me as best she could. And she's one of the reasons why I became a nurse. But by the time I was 24, I had 3 children. And I was just starting nursing school. It was very difficult for me. I had to take public assistance. I had to take, food stamps, Section 8, whatever it was I had to take in order to take care of my children. But I knew I always had a goal, that I wanted to become a nurse, that I wanted to have an advanced degree. So for me, it was just making sure that I stayed on the path that I was going. I had a lot of support with my tribe, my mother, my friends, my family. They supported me along the way. So it's important to me now because I was there before, struggling as a young mom, as a single parent. It's important for me to give back. I love mentoring. I love teaching. I love just trying to be an advocate for people who are in the underserved populations. That's very important to me too. So if I could give a message to anyone, especially our young women that are coming up today, don't quit. Um, Everything is only temporary. And, it may be hard in the beginning, but just know that you will get where you need to go. I was a 17-year-old with a full scholarship to Widener University, and then I ended up getting pregnant and I had to give up my scholarship. So I got where I needed to go. It just took a little bit longer. So it's just important to have tenacity and patience and drive and just know that, even though things are rough at one point, you will get where you need to go. So I always say that to whom much is given, much is required, because I've been very blessed in my life. And even though I did struggle in the beginning, I feel an obligation almost to give back and to help others.
I like that. And especially you mentioned that you had a lot of support. And
I
as
did.
we know, many people do not, unfortunately. But I
No, they
think
don't.
that's why
Mm-mm.
for me, it's so important. I'm an only child, so
Okay,
for
so am
me,
I. So am
oh,
I.
are you okay?
Yeah.
So for me, it's so important to be able to help other people because I understand what it's like to not have people around. I was fortunate; I
Mhm.
did have cousins, but a very shy person. You know, always have been,
Mhm.
and I still have some social anxiety and a little shy too. But you know, I
Mhm.
just think it's so important that we still remember where we come from, how we got there, and how important it is to create the path for someone else. Because that's,
Exactly.
you know, that's your journey, that's your history. What would you
Mhm.
say? So, thank you for sharing your story because there's someone
Absolutely.
else out there. There's another Trina out there that's listening,
Mhm.
and she needed to
Mhm.
hear those words today. And again, I think that's what's empowering when we can share our story, and our story is actually a pathway and a blueprint for someone else. When you
I hope
realize
so.
that your
I
story is
hope
a
so.
blueprint for someone else, and it is.
I love that. Mhm.
Yeah, it is. And when you think about the different roles that you have played in the field of nursing, could you
Mhm.
share with us? And again, we'll have some I call them the she universe. So the she's out there that may be considering nursing, you know,
Mhm.
as a field of interest, you know, for their
Mhm.
lifelong career. What are some of the
Mhm.
pathways that the doors of nursing and positions that has opened up for you? Would you share that with us?
Absolutely. So, I always like to say I took the long road to nursing. My mother was a nurse, and like I said, she was a nurse for 42 years. She was an LPN, licensed practical nurse. So I had a very good role model. So I started into the medical field as a candy striper volunteering at the hospital at 16. I became a nursing assistant probably around 1992. And then in 1993, because I was on public assistance, they had a program that would put us through to become licensed practical nurses. And I did that. I was like, I have two children at that point, pregnant with my third one. So I said, you know what, I'm going to go and I'm going to go to school. And I got my schooling paid for. And I've been very blessed. Every facility that I worked in order to get, because I did it the long way. I did my CNA, my LPN, then I got my associate's degree, become an RN, and then I got my bachelor's, and then I got my master's, and then I did my doctorate. So I had a very long journey, but I was always blessed to be able to be in a position where I worked at was able to help me pay for and fund my tuition for school. So I did my LPN. I did it for 1 year. I started working at a facility that sent all their LPNs back to school to become an RN. So I was able to do that. I worked in med surg at that point. And then once I became an RN, I went into ICU and I went into telemetry, shock trauma. I've done OR. I've done all different types of things. I've been in management. Right now, I'm in executive leadership at the veterans home that I work in. So you don't have to always be at the bedside. For a while, I was an oncology nurse as a nurse navigator, and that you do a lot with the community outreach and education. So there are so many different facets that nursing can do. It's not just bedside. You can work in risk management organizations. You can work in insurance companies, OR. You can be in C suite. You could do a little bit of everything. In nursing, that degree allows you to have such a open field of different things that you can do. It's not just when I came, I've been a nurse for 31 years. So back in the day when I first became a nurse, it was bedside. But as I, have evolved my career, there's so many different opportunities. You're not limited to the bedside. You can do so many different things. You don't have to work at a hospital. You could work at a nursing home. You could work in, like I said, an insurance agency. You can work for pharmaceutical companies. You can be an educator. You can work in universities. So it's very vast what your nursing degree will open your world up to. I always tell my nurses, I'm an adjunct professor at one of our local HBCUs, and I love doing that. I love giving back and touching the future of nursing because I know these are the young ones that are going to take care of us as we get older. So I try to impress upon them the importance of number one, caring. You can't be in the medical field at all, no matter what you're doing, unless you care about people. Because there are going to be days when you're going to have bad days, that has nothing to do with work. But then you got to go home, you got to go to work, and you've got to take care of someone else. You've got to empower and uplift someone else. So that's hard some days when you're already dealing with whatever you're dealing with personally. So I always tell, my nursing students that make sure you care. It's not, the money may be great, it may be, fabulous to be a nurse, but if you don't care about people, you're not going to be fulfilled and you're not going to get anything out of it. So I always tell people to make sure you care and make sure that this is the path you want to do. A lot of times I'll say to my nursing students too, if they want to be in the OR, whether or not they want to be in pediatrics or take care of patients in critical care, try to find, normally a lot of the nursing schools now are really great about allowing you to go and intern or shadow nursing at the bedside to see if this is something you want to do, because this is a lifelong commitment. It's not a job, it's a career. So if you really care about someone, like I can't imagine doing anything else other than being a nurse. And I've been blessed to be able to work in different fields and different facets of healthcare. So I feel like I'm well rounded, but I just try to let people know that it's very important that you care about people, and especially on the days when days are long and hard. So
That's good. Thank you so much. And I
you're
like what you
welcome.
said about, you have to care. You have to show
Have to
people you
care.
care.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times it's not about what you say, it's about what
Mm-mm.
you do for someone. And
Mm-hmm.
especially if someone is going through. And I remember, like I shared with you my story when I was in the hospital, um that really got me through is the nurses, the team of
Mm-hmm.
CNAs that
Mm-hmm.
that came and helped it and helped me along the way. So that means a lot. And I remember I did a post and like, wow, thank you to all the doctors, to the nurses, to the CNAs,
Oh,
and
awesome.
when you have a
Awesome.
long stay like that,
Mm-hmm.
they become close to you, but you could see the ones that care, you can touch and you can feel that.
It's something
When
about the ones that care. You can tell the difference.
Yes, you can
Mm-hmm.
really tell the difference, that are passionate about the field,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not a
Absolutely.
job.
Absolutely.
So
Mm-hmm.
let's go back about 5 years almost now. Well, not
Okay.
quite, but almost, to COVID.
Mm. Oh, yes.
That was, yeah, been almost. I mean, I guess we started getting some, readings on, okay, there is this COVID is going around in January, February, and then March. It seemed like
March
things
hit.
started shutting down. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll be on
Mm-hmm.
our the 5-year anniversary of it. And
I can't
during
believe it. Wow.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but during that time, we began to see that nurses and doctors and others in the healthcare industry were really our heroes. And
Mm, yeah.
it opened up, because
Mm-hmm.
they showed forth in the long hours and the different things that had to go through. If a person has, when you think about those kind of journeys, what is the resilience that one has to have to get through that?
Mm,
And again, it could be any different field. I think it's so important for us as women,
mm-hmm.
especially, to
Absolutely.
be whole mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, whatever that looks
Mm-hmm.
like. But
Mm-hmm.
when you think about that time frame and you think about
Mm,
your journey, what
mm.
does resilience look like, and what does it take to manifest that?
Um, I always tell people, like, especially in the medical field, because nursing, doctors, X-ray technicians, lab techs, no matter who your nurses aides, no matter who you are in the medical field, there are going to be some long days and it's going to be some tough times. Especially if you're dealing with, difficult patients, difficult family members, difficult doctors themselves, or coworkers. At that point, because of COVID, it was important for us to remember our why we became nurses, doctors, nursing assistants, whatever we did in the healthcare field, because those were some scary times. We didn't know exactly what was going on with COVID. I lost a lot of great coworkers during that time. Um, just some that were sick because they had comorbidities. There were some that got sick and there was nothing really wrong with them, and they ended up passing away because they were taking care of others. So we were scared. But we got into the medical field because we wanted to care for others. We don't want to do any harm, so we want to make sure that we're taking care of others. And a lot of people, a lot of people forget that a lot of the frontline staff, they put their life on the line to take care of other ones. And it was really sad in the beginning. So a lot of the resilience for us was just holding on to each other and knowing that every day we walked in, we garbed down, we put the mask and the hood and the gown and the gloves, and just knew that we were that lifeline for that patient. I didn't work in long-term care at that time. I worked in oncology, and that was rough because a lot of the patients at that time, we were trying to figure out how we were going to give our patients their life-saving treatment safely because they needed to come into the hospital, but the hospitals were shut down, and we were trying to figure out how we were going to get these patients in here to give them the chemotherapy and radiation they needed to fight this disease, and then also keep them as healthy as possible while protecting ourselves. So the amount of resilience that we had at that time, it still amazes me to this day. It was sad some cases. Like I said, a lot of my friends worked in long-term care, and a lot of the elderly, their families weren't able to come see them. It was a scary time. So resilience is just so important. Resilience is what's going to get you through no matter what you're going through, hard times. That was a main thing for us that when we were dealing with COVID was remembering our why we became healthcare professionals. But also, even when you're not dealing with a pandemic, just when you're having a bad day, when you're dealing with something that's stressful, because none of us deal with just one thing. There's multiple things. There's multiple layers to everyone. So you're dealing with life issues, you're dealing with family issues, you're dealing with work issues, you're dealing with financial issues. So resilience is so important. And I don't know, for me, I'm a very spiritual person, so my faith is what got me through a lot. I'm a very spiritual person, and I believe that that was one thing that grounded me and that kind of kept me from living I guess, a frightening life, trying to put my faith in God and my faith and my belief in a higher power that this is what I was put here to do. And I was going to take care of the people that need to be taken care of. And that's what got a lot of us through. It was a scary time, but knock on wood, hopefully we hopefully won't have to deal with anything like that a lot and again soon. But it taught a lot of us our resilience. There are quite a bit that left the healthcare field, but for the ones that are still there and they're still standing and that are still trying to encourage the new generation that are coming behind us, I think, we're showing resilience and strength and faith in yourself and faith in whatever higher power you may believe in.
Thank you. That's good. And I like what you said. You went back to your why. Why
Mm-hmm.
did I get into this field? Why am I doing
Exactly.
this?
Mm-hmm.
I think that is definitely so important in any aspect in our life. What is your why? What is your why for losing weight? What is your why for gaining
Exactly.
weight? Whatever it is, what is your why?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
How do you find that why? So staying there, Dr. Turner, if
Mm-hmm.
there's someone out there listening and said, I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what my why is.
Mm.
What would you say to that young lady, that middle-aged lady, that even the older lady? I had someone from that contacted us from the S.H.E universe. She said, I'm 85 and your
Mm.
session on purpose-driven mindset really helped me because it
Oh.
lets you know that I still have purpose in this life because I'm
Mm-hmm.
still living. So we
Absolutely.
have those in the S.H.E universe that are listening. How
Mm-hmm.
do they find their why? How do they find their purpose? What would you say to them? How would you guide them?
From I think figuring out what you're passionate about, what ignites you, what most interests you. For me, it's always been caring for others. I was the little girl that was taking care of the doll babies and, changing their diapers and taking care of them and being the little teacher and the mother. So it's always been a caring instinct in me. I've can't think of anything else that I wanted to be since I was 16 years old other than a nurse. Of course, I had a very good role model, but I was immersed in that world too. So I was a volunteer from the very beginning. So if I can tell anybody anything, it would be figure out what ignites you, what makes you excited, what empowers you, what is you're passionate about. I love helping others. I love. I'm always considered the counselor of my friends. When everybody has an issue or a concern, they come to me. So just trying to drill down on what they're passionate about, what ignites them, what is going to make you feel like you're not working a day in your life. My uncle told me that a long time ago. He was like, if you can find something that you love to do, you're never going to work a day in your life. And don't get me wrong, I have long nights, I have long days. I used to work 12 hours on call, holidays. But I'm still in it 31 years later. So I know that this was my calling. I tell everyone this is my calling. It was my calling to be a nurse. So just find out what really, really lights you, what you're passionate about. And then don't stop until you get there, no matter how long the road may take. It may not be something that you figured out today and then tomorrow you're doing it. It may take a while to progress to that to that step. But figure out what you need to do to make yourself happy, and that, don't give up. Just keep going. It sometimes, you have your long days, and even though I know that nursing is my calling and I love it and it's my why, there are some rough days. So you just got to know that, that you are passionate about what you love to do, and that you can't see yourself doing anything else other than that. And it may take a little while for you to get there, but don't give up. Just keep looking, keep trying to tease it out and drill it out to find out exactly what it is that ignites you, and then follow it. Don't stop, just follow it, and don't give up, definitely.
Thank you so much. And you know what? You just encouraged me. I was having one of those days, and even though I know it's something that I enjoy doing, but because
Uh-huh.
I was already
Mhm.
exhausted, I had to step back and say, "Okay, Amystique, you need to mentally change your attitude about this, right?" But you
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
encouraged me, so thank you.
I
Never
hope I
giving up.
did.
Yeah.
Don't give up. Don't give
Do
up.
not give up, and
Do not give up.
changing our perspective and
Mhm.
understanding our why while we're doing something. So those out there in the She universe, thank you for joining us. I know you've heard some really great nuggets from Dr. Turner. I know
I
I
hope so.
have. I wasn't
Oh.
expecting this, but I always think about things for the women out there that are listening to She Universe, but she actually
Mhm.
just ministered and gave me a message. So
Oh, I'm
I'm always
glad.
excited when that happens. So I'm walking away empowered too. So again, it's about sisters helping to empower, and that's what we're all about as women. If we can understand, and I know this is cliche, but we are stronger and better together.
Together,
Stronger
absolutely.
and better together. And
Absolutely.
you can always learn from someone. And I'm not
Mhm.
saying that the individuals have to be in your tribe or your
Mhm.
circle of friends, but for me, every woman I meet is an opportunity for me to grow. There's not one
Absolutely.
I could think of that I can't grow from. Whether
Exactly.
I fully know them or not, but I can
Mhm.
grow from them, because again, I believe all women are, stronger and better together, because there's more
Absolutely.
that connects us than that's different about us. If we
Mhm.
if we will look
Amen.
at each when we meet one, if we would when we meet another sister, if we would look at it that way, there's more that connects us than that makes us different. So as we're
Mhm.
wrapping up, we actually have 2 minutes. So Dr.
Okay.
Turner, what will be those last sounding words that you would like to share with our sisters out there in the She
Mhm.
universe? Again, sisters helping to empower.
I love this sister helping to empower universe. I love it. I think this is so needed, especially right now in the day and age that we're in. And if I can just leave, impart any words of wisdom, is just number one, know your why, about how, what it is that you want to do with your life, and don't give up, don't stop. keep going. Even when the days are rough, even when it's long, even when it feels very daunting, even we don't like what's going on around us. Just center yourself, figure out what it is that you have faith in yourself, definitely. Because you can accomplish so much more than what you think you could. You know, if I could go back now and tell my 17-year-old self, just hold on. You know, it's going to be some struggles, it's going to be some rocky roads, but you're going to be so happy with where you end up at. So just don't just bet on yourself. Don't give up on yourself. Keep pushing, keep trying, and just know that you are worthy of every good thing that can come into your life. And I hope all the best for everyone in 2025. I really do.
So I celebrate you. I celebrate you. Oh, Dr.
Thank
Turner, that
you.
was so amazing. And my
Thank
sisters
you.
out there in the She universe, thank you again for joining us in another segment. And I am very excited that she shared some interesting information with those that are
Hmm.
pursuing the nursing field, because that's what request that came to us. Hey, another nurse. Do we can we get some nurses out there to talk about what that journey looks like? But
Yes,
then
Lord.
also we're about empowering other women. So again,
Hmm.
sisters helping to empower. So She Universe, I know that you gained a lot of knowledge and insight and inspiration, and I mean just a feel good time because I received it.
Mm.
I received it. So
Oh,
Dr.
awesome.
Turner, again, thank you so much. So sisters out there in the She Universe, until we see each other again, good
Bye
night.
bye.